Hi guys, and tonight I'm going to review the previous entry in the Planet of the Apes series, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The new one is in cinemas now, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This one was released in 2011 in cinemas, and I hadn't actually seen it at all until recently. And, well, last night in fact, and I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. It is a really well-made reboot, prequel, reimagining sequel, whatever you call it. It's just a great way to reinvent a franchise of this stature. I really enjoy the original Planet of the Apes movie from 1968, and I've got a copy here. Might watch that tonight, also in preparation for the new movie, which is out now. I'm a big fan of the original film of Charlton Heston and Roddy McDowall. Um, I'm not that familiar with all the sequels that came out afterwards. Like, I know there's reams of Planet of the Apes sequels and a short-lived television series and an animated cartoon and a video game and Tim Burton's really ill-advised misfire of a remake of 2001, which I remember seeing but don't actually remember any details about the plot or the characters or the story at all. It's kind of... and I don't recall it being very good, though, and it's not well received, that film. Many fans don't like that. So I wouldn't say I was obsessive about Planet of the Apes, but I did enjoy the original film quite a lot. And this is a really good sequel, prequel update. Andy Serkis is the motion capture actor. Arguably, he is the motion capture actor. He is one of the best of the entire form. And it's almost an insult to call it motion capture. He just acts. He is the character. He makes the character so believable. You forget that he's just wearing a suit covered in ping pong balls, just pretending to be a monkey. He's that good. His facial expressions are just so expressive, and his monkey seems so real. Like 2001: A Space Odyssey was like a breakthrough in makeup effects. Like, the monkeys in that looks pretty convincing for the time, and the makeup effects in Planet of the Apes, the original film, looked quite impressive. And this one, the CGI monkeys, they look pretty good, I have to say. Like, there's times when you forget that they're CGI effects. And there's several kinds of monkeys in this film. There's bonobos, chimps, a gorilla called Buck, and there's also an orangutan who's named Maurice, after Maurice Evans, I think, who was the actor who played Dr. Zaius in the original film. There's lots of references to the original Planet of the Apes in this movie. Some explicit, like in dialogue. There's a character who's like this mishandling guy who works in the animal shelter, where our protagonist Caesar is being held captive, and he's mistreating the apes. And he's played by Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter series. I didn't recognise him at first, but he looks a bit older, and he's in this, and he plays the ape handler, and he's quite cruel to them. And some of his lines of dialogue specifically reference the original 1968 Planet of the Apes film. He says, "Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape," just like Charlton Heston as Taylor did in the original film. He sprays Caesar down with a hose and says, "It's a madhouse. It's a madhouse," jokingly, and also in reference to the original film. So there's lots of references that abound to the original movie in this. And also, there's a nice touch when you see news footage in this film of a shuttle being launched, and it's the mission to Mars, captained by Captain Taylor, the Icarus, in the original film of 1968. So this film kind of like is where it all begins. And I know this movie is kind of like a semi-remake of one of the sequels, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, I think. It's not exactly the same story, but that also featured a protagonist called Caesar, who was like the leader of the insurrectionists, like the apes that took over the Earth. There is a box set available of all the Planet of the Apes movies, but I only have the original 68 film and this one. Might check out the others at some point, but I reckon these are the only two essential ones. I plan to see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes soon, maybe tomorrow, at the cinema, and I'll let you know my thoughts on that. This was a great film, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, with a good cast. James Franco as the research scientist who's trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's, to cure his father. John Lithgow as his father, who's also excellent in this, who plays a really good Alzheimer's sufferer. He does a really good, convincing, sympathetic portrayal in this. I really liked his role in this. Brian Cox is in this, who's a versatile character actor, who's you might have seen in a lot of films. Frida Pinto is in this. But better than all of them combined is Andy Serkis. He just owns this film. He is this film. Andy Serkis is a legend, and he is the motion capture actor, as I've said before. And he actually has top billing in the latest movie. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes has Serkis assuming the mantle of the top billing. He is the #1 star, which is amazing. I think that might be the first time in history that a motion capture performance has been top billed on all the promotion. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it seems like a first for me. This is a great film, more realistic than the old Planet of the Apes films. Like, it's surprisingly po-faced and serious, and it takes itself very seriously. It's a drama. And the apes look more realistic. They're not like men in suits. I love the original film, but this is a more realistic take on it. I would recommend this one really highly. It's a really surprisingly effective film. Most effective moment is when Caesar's being mishandled, and he grabs the guy by the arm, and he bellows out in English, "No!" I was shocked. I was taken aback for a second, and so is the character in the film. And it's just a really profound moment in the movie, like when he stands up to his oppressors, and he just the first act of defiance against the humans by the apes, just a simple no. And he manages to command a few words of the English language. So at the end, his friend, the scientist played by James Franco, finds him in the forest where he started his own colony of apes, away from the humans, and he tells him to come home. He begs him to come home, and Caesar just says, "Caesar is home." And it's surprisingly good, really high-quality film. I look forward to seeing the next one, and I heard there's going to be a third in this new rebooted trilogy as well. So I look forward to that. If you like Planet of the Apes, the original film, check it out. Like, this is a surprisingly good homage to it, and much better than that crappy Tim Burton film. I like Tim Burton, but that remake was not good. So if you see this, pick it up on DVD or Blu-ray, and grab the original while you're at it. That's also a really good film. This is Adam Alton signing out. I'll have some more film reviews soon. I might see the second one tomorrow. And I might quote some Charlton Heston at you. "You maniacs, you blew it up. Damn you! Damn you all to hell!" Good evening, everyone.